right, Drew, let's get ready to lock and load because we're checking out the Wastelands.
Nice.
Hold him off, Team November. Flag train on this keep it shot, but buy me a minute and I think I can get the weapons online.
All right, Drew, this week we got to check out Wastelands 3, top-down XCOM action turn-based style game. I've played a few of these in the past. I know you have as well.
Yep.
What did you think of this one jumping in?
So it's been a while since I played a Wastelands game. Wastelands took a different approach. The other ones you can kind of freely, well, you know, it's a unique style, to be honest. You can freely move around. There's kind of two different game modes within the game, right? You got this exploration game mode, which allows you to go out and loot things and explore. And then when you get into combat, then it turns into that turn-based XCOM feel where you're pointing and clicking and dragging your guys and that kind of stuff. And some people are going to enjoy the fact that you can take your time, set up your battles and all that kind of stuff. But it's when it got started, the opening sequence and how it really kind of drew me into the game, I thought was really cool. The fact that we're going into Colorado and everything just kind of more or less kind of goes to hell, right? With the Wasteland. Yeah. And I thought it was really cool. I liked a lot of formats of these kind of games. I'm a big XCOM fan. So when I saw Wastelands was coming out and they're like, yeah, we're going to the third one and we're going to do this, I thought, man, this looks pretty cool. And the fact that we were able to get hands-on and check it out, I thought, you know what? I like a lot of people are going to like this game. I think it's going to have a nice draw for people. And if you're familiar with that XCOM style, then I think, you know what? You're in for something pretty cool here. I really enjoyed my time. The time we did get with the game is pretty limited. It's pretty short right now, only a few hours. But still,
we're in a preview build still for the
exactly.
Game, so
yeah, we're only
a few hours in the game.
Yeah, so we kind of got the foundation of, you know what, I'm building my group. I've got my rangers ready to go, and then you get your specialists too. So you're starting to build your people, and then, but as you progress through, you're able to kind of work at getting other people and bringing in other skill sets, and there's a lot going on even within the few hours I have with the game.
Yeah, you know what? This game is really involved. I've played a few styles of games like this before, and you know what? I'm definitely into this style of game, this turn-based action. I like the kind of, you know, the puzzle aspect of it, because it is kind of a puzzle, right? Because you are trying to figure out the best position to be in to take out your enemies, because this game does a pretty good job at making you feel overwhelmed almost immediately. Right after the opening cutscene, which you mentioned was pretty cool. It sets up for kind of an interesting story and kind of immerses you into, you know, the story that the two characters that you're going to go on or go on with to start. Kind of lays it all out for you. And I like the fact that we were able to either just choose pre-built characters that had their own skills and abilities already set, or you have the ability to actually hop in and do a full-on build of the two characters you want to start with, which I thought was a really awesome aspect. And it really opens up to the fact that there's a ton of customization in this game, whether it comes to, I know there wasn't a ton of visual stuff, at least to start with. And again, preview build, I wasn't even expecting to get as much in-depth custom picks as we got to choose when it came to our abilities and skills, which in most games, abilities and skills usually get wrapped into the same thing. In this game, we've got a whole different set of skills, a whole different set of abilities, and the lists weren't small. There was a lot of things to choose from here, and this is an aspect in this type of game that I wasn't, you know, previous games like this that I've played haven't really had this, or at least this to this degree, right? It felt very in depth for the, you know, I mean, I can, every time I level my guy, if I gave him a sniper rifle and I gave him, you know, proficiency in the sniper rifles, every level I go up, I'm getting some sort of different perk or different stacking ability. And every skiller has that. And for me, I was like, oh, this is actually a lot more involved than I thought. And that's just when you want to start the game with your two characters. So it is a lot to take in. I felt like it was maybe at first maybe a little overwhelming just because you had to pick all this stuff. You weren't sure, you know, maybe if what you were picking was what you wanted to be using later on down the road or not, right? So with options like that, it's always kind of difficult. But if you've played these styles of games before, I think you can kind of get an idea of what you want to play the game like. And this really affords you the opportunity to kind of choose your own path.
So in most games like this style, you're just kind of, you pick your class, right? But as you're touching on, when you pick your person, but you can actually kind of specify what kind of degree you want to go into, as far as, like, I got some going stealth, I got some being a mechanic, and then I got just a full out assault guy as well. So I'm able to kind of round out my team. But if you wanted to go and focus in one direction, you can do all these perks and these attributes and all these abilities and focus on that one direction. And it allows you, in my play style, like I like that stealthy, so I made sure I had that stealth person on there. So I thought it was really cool. I like the character customization options. Did you pick a pre-made set or did you make your own?
No, I made my own. When I realized you could make your own, then I was really kind of digging around the menus.
I went with a pre-made set.
How to. Okay, that's, you know what, and that was probably the better choice, because the set I went with basically like an assault person.
Right.
That was, guns, a little bit of lock picking, some explosives, and kind of just tried to make them, a little bit of an all around. And then I made it. That was my guy.
Sure.
And then I made a female character, and she was a marksman. So she did the robot hacking. She had a sniper rifle. So, and I kind of tried to balance it that way, and it was cool. But again, they did a pretty good job with some of the pre-made characters, because they all kind of have their own little backstories and their own abilities. So it was pretty cool to see. Who did you end up going with? Like, what style of characters?
I went with the father-daughter combo. So the father was more of a melee, and then the daughter was that sharpshooter. So I'm like, this is cool. I'm able to keep one back and then have one go up, right? So I had a play on both sides. I thought was pretty good. And then the minute I got my actual ranger group together, my squad, I then immediately added an assault. I added a medic, and I added a stealth player as well, right? So I had what I felt like was a pretty well-balanced group. But then you get into the world, and you get out there, and you get a hub world. Your hub world, you actually get to upgrade. Like, man, I love doing that stuff. So I feel like I'm being rewarded as I play, and then I'm able to kind of build out my own home base. I love doing that kind of stuff. So it has that good draw for me for Wastelands 3. And then when you get out in the world, you meet a bunch of quirky characters.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, some of these characters are like really over the top. But when you get into dialogue options, and this is where you get customization options as well, because you're able to take a couple different approaches. Sometimes you're set with the scenario of you can help this person, but the person doesn't want your help, so you can either leave them alone, or you can kill them, or you can just kind of go about and do whatever you want, right? So I love this ability, and then, sometimes I was not so nice, and other times I was pretty nice, and I was helpful. So I like that I'm able to kind of have this morale sort of light system in a sense. And the best part is, Corey, is that all the dialogue is voiced.
Yeah, and you know what? It was voiced well. Like you said, there are some over-the-top characters, but their voice acting was done tremendously. And again, for a game that we're just getting a preview of, if this is the preview of what to expect when we do play this game, it really does a good job at immersing you in the story and kind of the personalities of the characters you have on your squad, or people you just run into when you are traveling around kind of between combat.
Corey, what do you got for final thoughts with Wastelands 3 coming?
Well, you know what, Drew? I'm definitely a bigger fan of this style of game now that I've played a few, and this one has a bunch of aspects in it that I haven't had in games like this before. So you know what? I'm definitely going to recommend this one, and I'm keeping my eye on it for sure. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I'm having a great time what I've been able to play so far. I thought the story was interesting enough that it's hooked me. I love all the dialogue choices, and the fact that I can build my squad and build up so much more around it and customize who I want to be and all that kind of stuff. I'm hooked. I'm definitely keeping my eye on this one.
Hello everyone out there in the Wasteland. On today's show I want to talk to you about
Wasteland 3 brings a lot of great tactics elements to the table, including great customization options and the ability to create your starting duo. We're definitely going to be looking for this one upon a full release.
if we are fearless against the evils of the world, we can be everything we were.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.